Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wandering Village. I'm Evie Greenbottle, and version 1, the full release, is just about here, and we're going to take a sneak peek at some of the things that it has, which would be story mode. Go on an epic journey with your Onbu and discover the source of the infestation, a great starting point with an optional tutorial. We probably don't need the tutorial because I have played this game so very much, but we could try normal, pet your own pace. A growing village will lead to more challenges, but there's no pressure to progress. Or hard, use your resources to survive and keep Onbu healthy. The needs of your villagers will grow over time, and Onbu will gradually venture deeper into infested territory with a focus on survival. Now, I have played this game so much since the very beginning when it was just a lowly little demo, and now the full release is here, and it has been quite a long time in early access, and I've absolutely loved it. And if you haven't checked out my previous Wandering Village content, I definitely suggest you do, because there are hours and hours and days of content really for you to consume. And it starts off quite rough because it was back in my earliest days of content creation, and it was a very different vibe back then, but progressing up to something that just happened recently, where we spent the last year playing through and looking at all the new changes that were coming in lead up to this full release. Do we want to go with hard though, or just a normal one? Because I feel like I never play on normal. We always play on hard. Yes, we always play on hard. Ooh, unlock this appearance by completing the story mode. Pink Sakura, or was it Tahoa? And look, he's like all fiery. Okay, that is pretty cool. I mean, we've always had this one. We've got Onbu and Indigon. I do always play with the standard Onbu. Maybe we'll go with Indigon this time, but then that's his name. Your Onbu reminds you of Indigon, a mythical creature whose legends were told in folktales in the north. Made of sodalite, traces of phosphorus on his body glow a soft green, and it embodies wisdom and tranquility. And I think I've only ever played the skin when doing a challenge run with the hostility modifiers. I guess we'll still call him Onbu because that's what we do. I mean, I'm not even sure. Yeah, mama. Oh no, we can't do this. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're just going with Onbu. It's always Onbu. Hard mode, story mode, and let's call this, July 2025, because that's when I am starting this, and then we'll just kind of see how long story mode lasts and if we make it further in. Now, of course, we've got the classic intro. I have seen this so many times, and it is still so very good. Our people found Onbu, and then climbed on board this cutie pie. Look at his little dinosaur face. We just love him so much. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay, story mode is here. So we've got Elder Waltraud. Ah, there you are. Good to see you, my friend. And Elder Theodore here. After all the years we've traveled, all the hardship we've endured together, who would have thought that we'd run into an Onbu of all things? It's truly amazing, isn't it, dear? We might be the first humans to have seen one in a couple hundred years. But the boar thing seems exhausted and has gone back to sleep for now. I had thought that Onbu slept underground, but the poisoning of the soil must have woken it up. I wonder if it can even sustain itself up here on the surface, but if we take care of it, it might take care of us in return. But if push comes to shove, we might have to prioritize our own well-being in order to survive. Though that is a decision that we would like to pass on to you. We may have let our people here, but I think it's a good opportunity for someone new to take over. I am sure you will prove to be an excellent leader. I hope we will. And here's our first look at our brand new Onbu. So let's just take a look. Oh, there he is. I forgot that we had chosen the other color already. That was very quick for me to forget that. But things in story mode looking the same. This is so strange to see though after our last run. 10 people are currently homeless, so happiness is not up very high. We've got a bit of berries, tools, and wood. Now, if you've never played this game before, this is Onbu, and we need to live on his back, and we're going to be constructing houses and farms and all sorts of things to keep us and Onbu alive and keep our Onbu moving in a good direction. So currently, just one path, nowhere to choose, but later on there's going to be forks in the road. We'll have to make some decisions about which way to go to avoid bad things or find some good things. We'll also do some scavenging and all that sort of good stuff. All right. Happiness is important, so one of the first things we're going to need to do is build some tents. Now, the tents are very temporary, so it doesn't really matter where they are. What is this? Strange rubble. A large pile of rubble. It looks like there's something buried underneath. That is... well, I've never seen that before. That is a story mode thing, and I haven't seen that in the actual game before, so pretty cool. But someone wants to talk. What is happening? I see you've noticed a strange pile of rubble as well, my friend. There seems to be something buried here. It's hard to tell what that is right now, but we might be able to learn more if we dig it up. I don't know about this. Maybe it was buried for a reason. Come on, dear. Aren't you the least bit curious? Who knows? It might be something that could really benefit us. I mean, it could be. Oh, that is literally like, okay, it's our first task. So clear the strange rubble. We'll get the people on that. We do need to get some tents in, and it doesn't really matter where we put them to start because they are going to end up being temporary. Now we've got 10 villagers, so we're going to need 5 tents to start. And let's see, we're going to need a berry gathering hut. There's quite a few berries in this area. Trees are less densely packed than I remember. Oh, there's also quite a few berries already up there. Now, it doesn't really matter because we can always move the berry bushes, but I might just stick this in here for now anyways. There's only 4 berry bushes in range, but we can always plant more. And, oh, there's 5 if we go right here. So let's do that, and we'll get those berry bushes put in. Just a couple trees for them to also cut down. And I guess some people have gone over here to clear the rubble, so let's just keep an eye on them as they do that. All right, they're getting some resources from this. So we've got some clay and some stone. A tent has been constructed, which is great. That means we have slightly less people who are homeless, which is also just important. I wonder how long this is going to oh, there's a lot here though. And it looks like we're just getting clay and stone from it, but we'll have to see what's buried underneath. We'll come back in and check in on them in a little bit. We do need a lot more wood to get these houses built, but because they're doing the berry gatherer over here, they are grabbing those things as well. So let me just select some more of these trees to be cut down once we have a bit, because we're going to need the area around that berry gatherer to be cleared out. Now, another important thing that's going to be important right from the beginning is this research hut. I don't know where we want to put it because it's not all that important for right now. I think we'll just stick it here. There's not going to be enough space here for a farm, so why not? And the sooner we get researching things, the better off, because we are going to find all sorts of challenges as we progress along the map. Poison will come. I mean, there's already something there, an abandoned encampment. So this campsite looks like it's long but deserted. There's not much left, but you may find some tools amidst the debris, which is also very good. They can start bringing some of that clay and stone over. There's also like lots of clay and stone here. We do have a woodcutting camp, mining camp, and the clay gathering camps. We might want to stick those down. Just trying to look to see where we have a lot of clay. A lot of clay over here, but there's nowhere to put this unless... Ooh, actually, that's not bad. Although mushrooms would slightly be better there, but maybe we do this. There is then 6 clays kind of nearby. Mining camp, let's put one in here. And then a woodcutting camp. I think we're going to want to put farms in places. I'm not really sure where though. Let's just put it over there for now. All right, everybody's working. This just needs some people to come. Oh, we need 3 workers in there as well, which is quite a lot of workers considering it's so early days and we only have 10 workers. But I think if we start a research, that is just going to be better for us. Airwell is the very first thing to research, but we do need more wood for that. So let's just close this temporarily because we do need to be getting wood. Let's prioritize building our woodcutting camp. All right, Onbu is already waking up. We've got a couple more tents constructed. And here he is. He's off and walking. And then we're going to slowly... Oh, we're going to go past a rain cloud. Not that we can do anything with the rain cloud at the moment because we need the wood here for the airwell and we don't have enough wood yet. A little bit unfortunate because we're not getting any water at the moment, but and this berry gathering hut is going in a bit slowly as well. We just need 20 more wood for that too. So lots of things that we just need them to get building. All right, clear the strange rubble is now finished. What is that? Mysterious structure. Decayed, overgrown ruins. We don't know the original purpose. The structure has been severely damaged and needs to be rebuilt. It's going to cost us 30 wood planks and 30 stone slabs. We can't get those yet. Gain from deconstruction. Repairing this building will start the story. Once it's completed, it can't be deconstructed. Deconstructing it now will unlock its blueprint, allowing you to build it and start the story at a later time. Okay, so we need to get this built. So that is our first goal. And yeah, we're on it. But how interesting. It appears to be an ancient structure. Some kind of tower, maybe. What do you make of it, dear? Interesting indeed. In all my years, I've never seen anything quite like it. Or maybe, no, couldn't be. Either way, it seems to be in a remarkably good shape given its age. The foundations are intact and many of the other parts look usable as well. If we could figure out how they fit together and supplant some of our own resources, we might just be able to repair it. I don't know what we could stand to gain from this. Our resources are limited and, in my opinion, better used elsewhere. But dear, isn't not knowing the exciting part? I think we should do it if we can afford to. But either way, that isn't our decision anymore, is it? Right, no, because it's our decision, so I think we are definitely going to do that. We've got 2 workers in there now gathering trees, which is good. This stone cutting camp is also here. Just gonna put 1 worker in there too because we need other people doing other things. Getting our berry gatherer built is actually more of a priority than we thought. Now, also, our people have been happy enough that more nomads have decided they want to join us. So we just got 2 new villagers on Onbu's back, which is great because that gives us a few more workers, especially as people begin to go and work in jobs. Having those spare villagers to do the other random things like building and such, it is going to be important. All right, the berry gathering hut is being constructed now, and we'll get 2 workers in there straight away. The other thing we're going to want to do though is dig these up, harvest and remove, because then we'll be able to plant those berry seeds in closer to where we have our this. So plant and harvest those berry bushes as they get the berry seeds, but we do need people to go and gather those berry seeds. Ooh, and I suppose because we had new villagers, we don't have enough houses already, so the tents, we are going to need to build a few more. So just gonna pop in another row. Not a huge rush, we'll make one of them priority, but the other ones, it doesn't matter as much, just to make sure that people aren't homeless, because that does impact their happiness. We need to keep them fairly happy. Ooh, Onbu is glowing this evening. Absolutely looking lovely. So we're coming up to the abandoned encampment, so we'll have to see what we can find amongst the debris, and then we'll have our very first choice to make. Except we can't really tell Onbu to do anything at the moment. We've not unlocked the things that we're going to need to tell Onbu what to do, which is the horn blower, and we're quite far away from that because we are still working on this air well. We do need this wood to start coming in, but with building these tents, it is taking longer than you'd want. And we do have 2 workers in here in the woodcutting camp, so slowly but surely that will work, but it's just quite slow going to begin. All right, that second tent has been constructed. They are building another one. I'll probably just keep building them, which is not, I mean, potentially that's not great. Let's just cancel these completely because they are bringing the wood over there. And what I really want them to do is bring the wood here so we can use it for this research, because if we don't get started on this research, we're going to have a bad time. And I don't really want to have a bad time. I'd like to have a good time. So let's just get a few more in and then they can begin. Oh no, what have they just built? Oh, they're I think they're grabbing the wood to build this. Okay, the research is started on the airwell, which is good news because we do need to start collecting that water. The clay gathering camp has now been constructed. I'm just going to put 1 worker in there so we can start gathering clay. That leaves us with 4 spare workers for doing the various jobs that we have around, which is not a lot, but it's a start. And we do need them to be gathering the wood and gathering those berry plants so that these guys can plant more. And as you can see, they've already started planting more, so we now have quite a few in range, and they'll continue to do that. And 2 new settlers have just come on Onbu's back, which is lucky because we do in fact have the tent for them. And the airwell has been researched, so going to need to put this airwell down somewhere. I think just over here, and then we'll start to do some farms over here as well, because that's the next thing that we're going to need to research. So let's take a look in here. Farm and water tank, so a place to actually store the water, but we need to gather 25 water to start that. Or the farm, which actually we are ready to straight away start researching, so they've gone in there. This is going to be the next priority, and getting a worker inside there to start gathering that water, and then we'll be able to build the tanks in. Now, I feel like I'm putting these in random spots. I'm not really 100% sure what the plan is. I think this seems like a fairly good spot for a farm. There's a lot of green here. This would also be a fairly good spot for a farm, and then we can have a mushroom farm in between because we're going to need to grow mushrooms to feed Onbu. That's going to be fairly important. And I actually kind of feel like having 2 air wells is not going to be the worst thing, because you do end up with quite a few farms doing different things, and you do end up needing a lot of water. There's the farm done, so can have our first farm maybe right in here is fine. That seems like it fits in nicely. We're just gonna need some wood, stone, and clay for that one. And you guys need your next thing, which could be the horn blower. Also have the pantry and the flop house, but I think the horn blower is the way to go. That's gonna help us direct Onbu. Because at the moment, we're not gonna be able to make a choice here. He's either going to choose, we can't even ask him, we need a horn blower to even like choose, but then he might not trust us anyway, so he might not go the way we told him to go regardless. So he's either gonna head into the mountain biome, or he's gonna continue on in the jungle. And I think at this point in time, either of those is probably fine. I think it would be better if he stayed in the jungle, because I'm not 100% sure which crops we have unlocked, because there are different things that grow better in different biomes, and corn and tomatoes are here. Oh, do you know what? I bet beets are the thing that we have unlocked, and beets do grow better in the mountains, so maybe that's the way Onbu will choose to go. Either way, we're not going to be impacting his decision this time, but maybe in the future we can. Right, that's the air well in, so we can get our first worker in there to start gathering some water. which will help our farm because we can't plant anything until we have water, and we can't store the water until we have a bit to do the research. So, all right, the berry gatherer is saying that there's not enough resources because there's no more berry seeds for them to plant. Not a big deal. Hornblower is also research, so we can build that. It needs to be built at the front of Onbu because Onbu needs to be able to hear it, of course. So I think we just need to choose a spot. It doesn't really matter. We don't ever interact with this again. Once we put a worker in there, it basically just hangs out, and then we only interact with it from this tab. So yeah, as long as it's just sort of tucked over there, I think that will be fine. Actually, do I want to put it there? Maybe we'll put it over here, a bit closer to this dirt, because on this dirt, we're not going to be doing anything except for gathering these clay spots that already exist. So I feel like that is fine. We're not going to grow mushrooms there. We'll grow mushrooms back here once we've unlocked those. Now, Onbu also does have some needs. So he's got a poison level, he's got a hunger level, and he's got a sleepiness level. And we need to keep an eye on that as well as his health bar and make sure Onbu survives, because it would be devastating if he didn't, frankly. But we do need to look at our next thing here. The mycologist, we would need more clay, but we are working on that. And the mycologist allows us to actually start to gather mushrooms for feeding Onbu. Now, to go with that, we would also need the feeding trebuchet, which is way up here. And to unlock the feeding trebuchet, we do need the carpenter so we can start making the wood planks. I might actually go... It just needs a little bit more clay. Let's go with the mycologist, and we can hopefully start to get some of those mushrooms growing, because Onbu is going to get hungry. Now, there's a chance he'll find food along the way, but there's also a chance he will not. So, pretty sure he will, because we're still so early days, but you never know. All right, our farm has been constructed, so we can only plant beets at the moment. They're only kind of going to grow not as well here, 60% growth only. We need them to be a slightly colder temperature for the beets to work. So I might just put kind of one worker in here. We need to give it some plots so we can do that. And then a farmer will come in, grab some water from the air well, and then start planting the beets. Onbu has chosen to go towards the mountains, which is very good for us. And there is some hardy mushrooms over here, which Onbu then can eat. So that is also good. Our hornblower has been constructed. I'm not going to put a worker in there just yet. I'm just going to have it so that I just have to disable it and enable it. And there's nothing for us to tell Onbu to do because he's already made that decision. But normally when we click on this, we'll be able to choose which direction. And Onbu may or may not follow us. So we'll just have to see how that goes. All right, we're still just waiting on a bit more clay. What we can do is click on some of these to start collecting. And then our spare workers can go around and actually start looking at those. Right, Onbu has entered the mountains biome, so if we go back to our farm, we can now see that the temperature is great for where we are, and that means those beets are going to grow faster, which is good, and the temperature is just a bit colder. Onbu is also going to sleep, and we're still early game, so there's no poison in the air or the ground, but later on in the mountains, there usually is poison on the ground. Oh, and there we go. Onbu is lied down. He is going to go have a nap, which is just fine. All right, our first beets are being harvested, which is very good. And we've got more villagers coming onto Onbu's back, which gives us now 7 spare villagers. And we are going to need to get this house built. We have exactly enough housing now, but we're not if we get any more. So if we get that house put in, that will help. The mycologist is being researched now, which is also quite good. And then we're going to need to take a look at the research tree to see where we're going next, which I think is going to be... Oh, the water tank would be good. The carpenter is also important. I think let's go with the water tank first because we can do that straight away, whereas we need a lot more wood to get that other one. And the mycologist, I think if we build it here is a fairly good spot. We could also build it down here. There's a lot happening down there. I think we'll just go here. It needs to be on the dirt, so mushrooms only grow on the dirt. All right, another air well has been built. That's the second one. We are going to want another farm, but this one we'll just do the mycologist for now. The water tank has been researched, so we're going to want to build at least one of those so we can start storing the water. I think I'm just going to put it down here next to the farm. It's nice and close then, so that farm doesn't have to go very far. I mean, they didn't have to go very far anyways, but nice and close here for the farm. And to be fair, there's a huge area here of land that they can till and use for growing crops, but they're not going to need all of that, so it's not a big deal. Gonna just put one person in here to start making mushrooms. Gonna select the entire area of what's currently available. They are digging these clay deposits up completely because then we'll be able to use that for mushroom area. Not that we necessarily need the entire thing for mushroom area, but we also just don't need those clay deposits. And later, more water will come onto Onbu's back, and anywhere that there's dirt, we have a chance for a clay deposit. All right, more people, 2 new villagers have come onto Onbu's back. We're now up to 20, which is exactly how many huts we have. And our water tank research was done, so I do need to select the next thing. And I do think the next thing is going to be the carpenter, which means we do need quite a bit of wood. Now, I could temporarily close this so that they go and do chopping and things. So yeah, he went straight over there and began chopping a tree, which means we'll be getting closer to the wood. And we'll unlock that and put the 3 workers back in as soon as that hits 75. Because there's not really any reason to have them just standing around waiting at the moment, especially when we just have so few villagers. Although we're already up to 20, which is really, really quick of getting more villagers. And definitely with the changes that have been made since the very beginning of this game, it's quite good. Okay, there we go. We've got enough now. So get those 3 workers back in there and they can start researching the carpenter, which will be really handy for us because we can start getting some wooden planks. Which does lead us closer to working on this strange, mysterious structure. Because we do need 30 wooden planks for it, and then we'll be able to build this and see what that is all about, because I am quite curious to see what's going to happen in story mode. This is our first time ever looking at it. I haven't looked at it alone, off camera or anything. This is it. We're doing it together, so I'm very excited. I hope you are too. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here so you don't miss any more fun on Onbu's back, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.